Hi everyone, and welcome back to my beginner's average player's guide to the CV rework. Today I'm looking at the Ryujo, the IJN Tier 6 aircraft carrier. Now, she is an improvement upon the Hosho at Tier 4. She has bigger squadrons, especially when it comes to the torpedo bombers. Instead of having 3, she now has 6. They are very good, they're very hard hitting, and I enjoy the Ryujo a lot more than I did the Hosho now that the AA buff to enemy ships has been introduced. Your hit points, not a vast increase, so stay out of trouble and stay out of sight. I recommend now, more importantly than ever, start hiding behind islands, start making use of natural terrain concealment to hide yourself away, because otherwise you will get deleted very, very quickly. Not by the enemy aircraft carrier because of the CV to CV rules, but by enemy ships in general. And once again, if you're unlucky enough that an enemy destroyer sets its sights on you, the enemy destroyer will take you out, and that is because of your consumables that I will mention shortly. So she's equipped with rocket equipped attack aircraft, the torpedo bombers that I said, and her dive bombers. Now, as you can see, there's no fire chance because IJN get armor piercing dive bombers. Now, you may have seen during the CV rework testing that IJN aircraft carriers were flying all around the map, dealing citadel damage after citadel damage to multiple enemy ships. Now, for some reason, excuse me, that doesn't happen that much anymore. You will get citadel hits if you're lucky to aim correctly on target, but do not expect the huge amounts of armor piercing citadel hits that you saw during testing in videos, because in my experience that doesn't happen that much anymore. Now, that does mean that you do not deal massive amounts of damage over time, and it becomes very, very relevant for the IJN aircraft carriers that you pick where to strike, as opposed to the USN aircraft carriers that can pick and choose where they engage. Excuse me. IJN have to be very, very more conservative about where they pick to choose their fights. Let's look at her modules once this fantastic UI loads up. Now, I recommend if you get the chance, go for the sea hull. You'll notice much, much better. Excuse me, I have a cold. Not only do you get a hit point increase over the standard amount, it's not a lot, but an increase is an increase. It increases your AA mounts and increases your maneuverability. So go for the sea hull if you can. Don't really waste money on the B hull. Go for the sea if you can, if you've got the credits. And I do recommend, even though it means the time you take to service your aircraft is increased, get all 3 of these upgrades, because you will notice a very big difference in them. Upgrade wise, you want the air groups modification 1 to increase the speed of your aircraft fraternity carrier. You want the engines upgrade modification 1, that increases your engine boost time. Then you want attack aircraft modification 1, extends the attack time of your attack aircraft. Now, I went for this, but I am moving towards more of a trend of getting the torpedo bombers one, because your torpedo bombers spend a lot more time in the attack aura of enemy ships. So even though I've tested this one extensively and only the torpedo bombers very occasionally, I recommend that going for the torpedo bombers modification is a lot better. And then finally, dive bombers modification 2, which increases your dive bomber hit points. Now there could be a case for, well, if you've increased the attack, extending the attack time for your torpedo bombers, that you should get that. But I personally feel that because your dive bombers go up and then strike down towards the enemy, that increasing their hit points, especially the fact that they also get a heal, is a much bigger benefit. So, onto the captain skills. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know what I'm going to say here. Improved engine boost, because increasing your engine boost time for your squadrons is a must to get into position. Improved engines to increase the speed. Now, you should already be up to this tier 2 skill if you've played the Hosho. Your aircraft armor, because at tier 6 the enemy's anti-aircraft firepower gets even worse than it was at tier 4, and you are going to probably be facing tier 7s and, God forbid, tier 8s, and they are going to shred you and make your life a living hell. So getting this armor upgrade is an absolute no-brainer. Then, as I said, site stabilization. With the AA being as monstrous as it is, you want to spend as less time in your enemy's AA aura as possible, so having your aiming speed increased is brilliant. Then when you finally get some more, another 4 points, then get your concealment expert, so you can get into position without being detected, and also give you more of a chance that an enemy destroyer won't find where you are. And that is it in the port for the Ryujo. Let's take her out and see what this girl, even though she's outmatched by her counterpart the Ranger, let's see what this girl can actually do. So here we are, we're on the ring map. It's a standard battle, so no multiple caps to have to worry about in this game. And it looks like there is only one enemy actual player, which is the enemy carrier, and by the looks of it he isn't fully equipped out, whereas I am. So we're going to pick where we're going to go, and I'm going to go behind this island down at J6. And once again, as I always do, I am going to send up a squadron of rocket equipped fighters first. This is because they are faster, they're extremely manoeuvrable, and I want to try and get vision on the enemy team as quickly as possible so that my team can get those early shots off and generally try and persuade the enemy to stay back, keep them away from our cap, and keep them out of the ability to shoot back. Now, the AI has launched torpedo bombers, which is interesting. Well, it's not the AI, it's the enemy player, which makes you think, okay, fine. But sending torpedo bombers, they're a small squadron, they're very slow, and they're generally not going to do a lot of damage this early on in the game. I'm going to aim for this cruiser, try and get some early damage, maybe set some fires. And there we are, lucky it's non-penetration, but it does set a fire. And that's the thing. You don't have a high fire chance with your rockets on Japanese CVs, not until you get much higher up in the tiers. But they do have that chance, and it's that chance. There's another one. You do have that chance to set fires, and that's what makes these great early scouts. Because they can scout, they can deal damage, they can force the enemy cruisers and the enemy destroyers to use their damage repair straight off the bat. Now, there you go. That's 3 fires, and probably some of them I think some of them may have actually used their damage control. But thanks to setting those 3 fires early on, we're up to over 12,000 damage already, and the game is not even 2 minutes old. So, looks like all the enemy fires are nearly out. No, one must still be burning. It must be that battleship. So, we're going to send up some armor-piercing bombers, and we're going to see if we can find some nice, juicy citadels. Now, the enemy carrier, He's sending up some bombers as well. Now you will note that at this tier, now tier 6 is when all of your flights actually get. Now this was a strange glitch. I don't know what happened here, but yep, the ping went insane, my planes went mental, and yeah. Well done, Wargaming. I'm now doing a dive on some open ocean. Cool. Thanks for that. I've almost lost my entire flight of armor-piercing bombers, but yeah, whatever. So we're going to go for a strike on this battleship. It's not a strike we were going to do originally, but we're in the position for it, and nope, RNG says not only are your planes going to go completely skew-whiff, but you're going to lose them all to AA firepower, and you're going to miss. Well done, Wargaming. Go home, you're drunk. Right.
Maintaining present course.
We're in a sendable flight of torpedo bombers. Now, we're going to try and aim for those nice slow battleships and see if we can get some flooding and force them to try and use their damage repair ability. Well, their damage control and hopefully their damage repair, so that my allies can set some nice juicy fires with some high explosion. Now, I probably should have gone for that cruiser to the left, because at the time he was in a much better position. Now, this is why positioning with your torpedo bombers is so important, because trying to line up a flight, and then you really want your opponents to be broadside when you fire them off. So now I fire them off before the track turns opaque, and nope, you see, he turned into, even though he was moving very slowly, that enemy battleship turned into them, so that they didn't have time to arm. Now what I should have done was try and release them a lot sooner, so that they would have time to arm even if he turned in, but I was losing them to the enemy's atrociously powerful anti-aircraft firepower, and I doubt I'd have actually got the squadron launched. Now I need to be careful here, because an enemy fighter wave is protecting this battleship, but I'm still going to go in anyway, and as you can see, I don't have a full squadron. This is because none of my planes made it back from when I last sent some dive bombers up, and it takes a long time to replenish them. And you'll start noticing that at tier 6, the fact that if you lose your squadrons to, say, RNG or the enemy's massive massed firepower, that you'll start having squadrons that aren't completely full. I'm aiming for the citadel of the enemy ship. There we go. Very nice. Nice strike there. Now, I'm going to send up some rocket equipped planes for two reasons. One, we've lost all of our destroyers, the enemy still has all of theirs, so they have all of the map control. They have all of that ability to sneak up on your team, and so I thought at this point it'd be best if I send up some rocket equipped planes to try and level the playing field, try and take out those annoying destroyers, and provide my team with a much needed breathing room, as they're losing extremely badly. So we aim for this destroyer. RNG says no, even though it was okay aimed. We're going to aim for this other destroyer here, as he's on lower health. Aim ahead of him. One hit, not much else. And instead of turning around, because I'm probably going to lose these, I'm going to try and deal some damage to the battleship. And we do set him on fire. And we're going to keep going straight, because if we turn around, the enemy's AAE is going to shred us, and we're going to lose the planes before we get a strike off. There's one plane left, and he deals some minor damage. Now, looking at this, I have enough torpedo bombers to send up a torpedo squadron. I did want to send up a dive bomber squadron, but it wouldn't have been a full squad, so I'm going to wait for more of them to replenish, and we're going to see if we can strike ourselves a battleship. So, as you can see, being a CV is very, very dependent on your team, and it looks like I decided, nope, I'm going to aim for this cruiser instead.
Approaching target.
I don't know why I did. Battleships are a hell of a lot easier target, and we're going to drop them. Now he is turning into them, so they are probably going to miss. I really should have gone for that battleship that was to the left, I believe. because he's doing much more damage to the battleship and the cruiser that are near him. Now, I'm not in a perfect position here. Once again, my positioning is very, very off.
Returning. Taking fire.
And as you saw there, the slightest movement can actually throw your torpedo aiming track off. I do get a torpedo hit, but no flooding. So we have one Kate left. And he's going away from us, so we're going to try and aim, but I think he's turning too much, so that torpedo is also going to miss as well. So bad aiming on my part. We're now going to send up that squadron of dive bombs that I was waiting for to replenish, and we're going to see if we can take out either that enemy cruiser or that very low health enemy battleship. Well, that enemy battleship is probably going to be dead before we reach him. So at this point I'm thinking, well, I'm going to aim for that cruiser. I know that battleship isn't dead, so we're going to see if we can strike that battleship. We're going for the dive. And we're probably going to get him if no one else does. And yeah, there's no way he was going to escape that. 2 penetrations and a kill. Because as we know, kids, dealing damage and killing enemy ships gives you more XP and more credits than helping your team. So I've got 4 left, and we're going to see if we can deal some more damage to this enemy cruiser. Going over the dive. Now, what you can do is using your W and S keys when you're going for a strike, you can use them to increase your speed or slow down, so you can delay your drop or increase it, and that comes in very, very handy when the planes are a hell of a lot faster at higher tiers. So even though I'm starting quite some way away, I'm using the W and the S keys to aim where I'm going to strike. Okay, running low on squadrons, so I need them to replenish, but I've noticed that this destroyer is very, very close, so I'm going to send up some rocket-equipped fighters to try and take him out. But for some reason, I don't go for him. Now, this will come to bite me in the butt later, because, spoilers, but I'm going to try and finish off this low health cruiser. Now, what I should have done is try and take out that destroyer, because he's probably going to take out my ally. But I do take him out. That's 3 penetrating hits. The fire kills him as well, and that's that French tier 6 cruiser taken care of. Now, I'm almost out of planes on these, so I'm just going to see if I can set fire on this Bayern. And no fire, but some nice penetrating hits. Up to 48,000 damage. Now, as you can see, that destroyer now has me in his sights, and yep. This is why I should have read the map properly and taken him out. Now, as you can see, it isn't a full squadron, so this could be a problem. But we're going to go in, and he's probably going to try and deploy a smoke screen if he's smart. So we're going to go in, fire him off, and yeah, I successfully take out his engine, but it's not enough to kill him. Now, this is primarily because that unless your enemy is on very, very low health, your rocket-equipped fighters do not deal a massive amount of damage. They're good at setting fires, predominantly if they're American, but they are good at incapacitating modules. They're good at finishing off low health targets. You know, you get the idea. But don't expect that because you have lots and lots of armor-piercing bombs on your aircraft carrier to be dealing a hell of a lot of citadel damage. That isn't going to happen because you have to avoid the enemy's AA. And oh, here we go. Now I'm actually taking direct control of my carrier, which is why I haven't actually sent up any planes. I've taken direct control. Now this is one thing that annoys me with aircraft carriers, the fact that you have to choose whether or not to send up squadrons or control your aircraft carrier. Wargaming believes that we're not that intelligent that we can actually do both, which I believe is a bit insulting. So I've got some torpedo equipped planes because they're the only ones I had ready and available, but I also do now have some rocket. I have a full set of rocket equipped, and I have a full set of dive bombers ready to go. So I'm going to try and finish off this destroyer with torpedoes, which is wishful thinking because they're extremely fast, extremely agile, and they can easily see them coming. Even a noob player can see that coming. This is a bit of a newbie mistake. I didn't realise I had a squadron of fighters ready to rumble, but you know, hindsight is a wonderful thing. We're losing extremely badly, and you know, that's like I say, you're an aircraft carrier. You can't be everywhere at once. You do have to rely on your team. So those torps, they're probably going to miss because he's extremely quick. Yep. And I'm again. So I send up a squadron of rocket-equipped fighters, and we're going to see if we can finish off this destroyer. Now he's probably coming in for a torpedo attack, so I need to finish him off extremely quickly. That wasn't a very good shot. I aimed too far ahead of him, so most of them impacted the water. I probably haven't got long before he takes me out either. I am the last ship left alive on my team. 53,000 damage and 2 kills, and it still won't be enough. Well, another set. Missed. This is because I'm panicking now. Very, very newbie mistake, and a funny moment here when my secondaries take out the enemy ship, the enemy destroyer, but it's too late. It launches torpedoes, and that ends the game. 53,000 damage, 2 kills, a citadel hit, and a couple of nice fires. The Ryujo is a massive, 3 kills. So massive increase on what the Hosho is at tier 4. And she will prepare you more, the Ryujo, for when you play in higher tiers. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you on the high seas.